My name is Emily. I live with my husband, who is a company employee, and our 4-year-old daughter. I'm a regular housewife, but my family owns a large stake in a publicly traded company and several buildings in the city. We live in one of my family's buildings, close to the station and the hospital, enjoying a comfortable life. Of course, as my family owns the building and I'm their daughter, we don't pay rent. In return, I help with maintaining the building. We are living peacefully, but one day my husband got a phone call. "Brother, help me. My husband's store went bankrupt, and we're completely out of money. We even have debts. What should we do?" The caller was my husband's sister, Sarah. Sarah was crying and pleading with my husband, and he was confused. I overheard their conversation. "Why don't they stay in our building until things settle down? I can ask my dad," I kindly suggested. To be honest, I don't really like Sarah. But she loves her brother, my husband, but then again she is quite hostile towards me. She always shows a blatantly negative attitude towards me. So, honestly, I don't want to get involved with her much. But since she's my sister-in-law, I thought maybe we could get along better through this, so I decided to ask my dad if he could lend her a unit. When I explained the situation, "That's tough. You can use the unit next to yours." Of course, no rent needed. My dad also agreed readily. After a while, Sarah's family moved into the unit next door. Thank you so much. Thanks to both of you, we were saved. On the day they moved in, Sarah thanked my husband and my dad. She didn't thank me, but I tried not to mind. Sarah has a husband who is 5 years older than her and a 4-year-old son, Ryan. Sarah's husband is quiet and hard to read, but their son Ryan is an honest and cute kid. Our daughter, Chloe, and Ryan are the same age. Be good friends, okay? When I said this to Ryan, he nodded. "Ryan, what are you doing? Get inside now," Sarah shouted, and Ryan went inside. "Emily, thanks." My husband thanked me on Sarah's behalf. "I know she's a handful, but please bear with her for a while." "Of course." "Chloe, aren't you glad Ryan moved next door?" When I said this, Chloe nodded happily. However, our peaceful days turned into chaos. Sarah, who idolizes her brother, started interfering with our family at every opportunity. For example, whenever we tried to go somewhere as a family on the weekends, Sarah's family always tag along. That's fine, but Sarah ignores her own husband and son, clinging to my husband, which makes it impossible for my daughter and me to enjoy the time with my husband. Moreover, she frequently comes to our unit and gives unsolicited advice. One time, "Don't you think these curtains look cheap?" And then she threw them away without asking. "I ordered new ones for you. I had them sent COD. She sent me some expensive-looking curtains that she liked. It's really inconvenient when you do that. Please stop." Even when I said that, "It's sad that my brother has to live in such a cheap-looking room. I have to make it better for him." She wouldn't listen. Even when I asked my husband to talk to her. "Come on, don't get so mad. Just try to get along. That's all," he says. Then Sarah asked me to watch Ryan during the weekdays while she started a part-time job. I thought it might be good for my daughter to have a playmate, so I agreed. From that day on, Ryan was at our place most of the time. Sarah wouldn't come home even after her part-time job ended, so I end up feeding Ryan dinner every day. Then one day, Sarah came over as usual and suddenly said, "Emily, the beef in yesterday's stew wasn't high grade, was it? Don't be so cheap, feed Ryan high-grade beef." I wondered how Sarah knew that. Only I should have known the beef in the stew was imported. After that, Sarah started mentioning things only I should have known. Furthermore, "Chloe can't write the alphabet yet? My Ryan can already write numbers." She makes these ridiculous comparisons. I was getting more and more stressed by Sarah's behavior. The constant intrusion into our lives was taking its toll on me. I could feel my patience wearing thin with each passing day. Realizing I couldn't let this continue, I decided to talk to Sarah's husband. I hoped he might be able to reason with her or at least rein in her behavior. But when I approached him, I was met with a disheartening sight. Sarah's husband was drowning his sorrows in alcohol after his store went bankrupt and wasn't in a state to have a proper conversation. The smell of cheap liquor wafted through the air as he slumped on the couch, barely able to focus on me. It was clear that he was in no condition to help with the situation. Feeling defeated, I realized I had no choice but to consult my own father. With a heavy heart, I made my way to my parents' house, hoping for some guidance. The familiar sight of my childhood home brought a momentary sense of comfort. As I approached the front door, I saw my father's silhouette through the window. When I arrived at my parents' house, my father said, "I was just about to come talk to you about the building you're living in," he said as he welcomed me, his face etched with concern. "What's the matter?" When I asked, my dad. "The thing is, we've been getting complaints about the garbage area being messed up. I'm thinking of installing security cameras. Can you arrange that?" he asked, his brow furrowed. "Got it." I nodded, wondering if this was related to my own troubles. "So, what's your story?" His intuition, as always, was spot on. "Well, Sarah is intruding into our lives, and it's really annoying. Chloe doesn't like it either. I was wondering if we could do something about it." I poured out my frustrations, feeling a mix of relief and anxiety. After listening to me, my dad thought for a while and, "That's tough. But since we've allowed them to live there, we can't just tell them to leave without a solid reason," he said, his voice tinged with sympathy and a hint of regret. "I guess you're right. It's really troublesome." With my father's sympathy, I went back home, feeling no closer to a solution. The weight of the situation seemed to press down on my shoulders as I walked. About a week later, one night, while our family was relaxing in the living room, a sudden intrusion disturbed our peace. The door swung open without warning, revealing Sarah and her husband. Their unexpected appearance sent a chill down my spine. "Wait, how did you get in?" "The door was locked," I asked. My voice trembled slightly, a mix of shock and anger. When I asked, Sarah, "Tada. I made a spare key," she said, showing off the key with a triumphant grin. The audacity of her action left me momentarily speechless. I was really furious. "What do you think you're doing making a spare key without permission? This is our home. You have no right to have a spare key," I yelled, my voice rising with each word. The room fell silent for a moment, the tension palpable. "If you don't like me, why don't you leave? My brother would be happier without you here." Her words laced with poison, her true feelings finally laid bare. "Yeah, exactly. She came to me asking to do something about you. Everything would be solved if you just left. Get out." He chimed in, his alcohol-fueled courage on full display. Just then, the doorbell rang. The sudden sound cut through the tension like a knife. With shaking hands, I moved to open the door. When I opened the door, my father was standing there. His presence was like a beacon of hope in the chaos. "May I come in?" my dad asked as he stepped into the room, his eyes quickly assessing the situation. Then Sarah. "Long time no see. Emily has been bullying me. Could you please make her leave?" she said to my dad, her voice suddenly sweet and pleading. Then my dad. "No, you're the one who needs to leave, Sarah," he said, glaring at her with an intensity one have rarely seen. "What? Why should I leave? You're kicking me out when I haven't done anything wrong?" she shouted, her face contorting with anger and disbelief. My dad looked at Sarah with scorn. "Actually, we found out who has been messing up the garbage area. We checked the camera today and saw you on it. We can't let someone who does that stay here. Please leave immediately." His words hung in the air, heavy with finality. Then, my husband, who had been silent until now. Why would Sarah mess with the garbage? There must be a reason, right? He asked, his voice with confusion and a hint of denial. Sarah remained silent, looking awkward, unable to come up with an excuse. Her silence spoke volumes, confirming our suspicions. That's when it hit me. I see. You were going through our garbage. That's how you knew things only I should know. It's a violation of privacy. The realization dawned on me, pieces of the puzzle finally falling into place. Sarah, is that true? Why would you do something like that? Is it just to harass us? Even my husband was taken aback, his voice trembling with shock and disappointment. Being confronted by her brother, Sarah. No, brother. I was just trying to find out things for your sake. Sarah said, almost in tears, her facade crumbling. You're just obsessed with your brother. It's creepy. I said coldly, no longer able to contain my disgust. My dad also. That's not normal. Anyway, you'll be leaving here by tomorrow. Go back to your unit and pack. He warned Sarah and her family, his tone leaving no room for argument. That's so cruel. Brother, help me. Sarah cried out, her eyes desperately seeking support from my husband. Sarah, this time you've really disappointed me. I'm going to distance myself from you. My husband told Sarah, pushing her away, his voice heavy with resolve. Being abandoned by the brother she adored, Sarah was devastated and cried uncontrollably. Her sobs echoed through the room, a pitiful sound that brought no sympathy. The next day, Sarah and her husband moved out. The building felt lighter, as if a dark cloud had finally lifted. Their son, Ryan, said he wanted to stay, so we gladly took him in. Ryan's innocent face was a stark contrast to his parents' actions. Sarah and her husband tried to return to her parents' house because they had no money, but my husband had informed their parents of everything, so they were turned away. Their parents realized they had spoiled her too much and regretted it. After that, Sarah and her alcoholic husband got into a really bad argument. This is all your fault. You're the one who ran the store into the ground. They had a huge fight and ended up getting a divorce. The sounds of their argument could be heard even from a distance. After the divorce, Sarah lived alone, slowly paying off her debts. Her once proud demeanor was replaced by a defeated slouch. Meanwhile, we are living very peacefully. The atmosphere in our home changed dramatically, filled with warmth and laughter. After Sarah left, I inherited the building from my father. This unexpected turn of events brought a new sense of responsibility. Chloe and Ryan are as close as siblings, and our home is very lively. Their giggles and playful banter fill the rooms, a healing balm after the turmoil. Even my unreliable husband seems to have woken up after this incident and now puts our family first. His transformation was gradual but noticeable, bringing us closer as a couple. From now on, I hope we continue to live happily together as a family. The future looks bright, filled with possibilities and love.